Corp. Today we're going to talk about the 2175 ET Professional Sprue Cutter. Many of you are already familiar with Xuron's 410 series sprue cutter. A very good tool. Comes in a variety of jaw angles. It's great for the beginner, the novice getting started, but if you're intermediate to professional, you're going to want something a little bit better, and to that end, help Xuron develop the 2175 Professional Sprue Cutter, and I'll talk a little bit more about its features in a minute. Some of you aren't using sprue cutters at all. Some of you are using nipping tweezers. Some of you are using saws. Some of you are just using your knife. Some of you are using tools best left for the electricians or working on cars. And there's a reason why you shouldn't use these, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now, many of you think that purchasing a premium tool is kind of a mistake, but many of you are already paying $30 or more for a scale modeling kit, and you can build a lot of models with a $20 investment. The retail on the 2175 is below 20 bucks and it has a lifetime warranty, so it'll last you through hundreds of kits. Now, let's talk a minute about compression and what separates a good cutting tool from a bad cutting tool. And one of the reasons why I took what the attributes of the 410 series were to improve upon them to develop the 2175. Let's just do a quick comparison here of the difference, what we're talking about with something that's a dedicated wire cutter versus the 2175 ET. Notice the jaws. Just look at those. This is not conducive with cutting plastic. This is for cutting wire. And it just doesn't give you the ability to even get in tightly into tightly packed parts on a sprue. So let's just set that aside. But let's look at the sprue here. Again, I'm going to do this demonstration here so you can see what I was talking about. I'm going to squeeze into here. I'm going to go about halfway in if I can do this. It takes quite a bit of force to cut something this thick with these pliers, but take a look at the white line. You see that, and also see the notching? See that? Now what's happening is that the two jaws are pushing in, which is causing this to rise. The angle of the jaw, the high angle in that jaw is causing that to go upward. Okay? Stretching the plastic, causing it to tear. Well, it's doing that on your sprues when you're working to remove the part. Now let's take the 2175 and we'll come in from the side again. This time I'll come in here, do a little apply. I'm gonna try and get some more here. There we go. Now look at the difference here. Look at that white line. See how less it is? And I'm actually in further. Notice the wedge put in by the jaws. See that? It's not as prominent. Now go back here. I'm going to cut this off. Okay. Look at the tip of that. Look what this did. It's jagged. It's definitely not level. Let's come back here with the 2175. Notice it's flush. May not be straight because I wasn't holding the tool perfectly parallel, but we can come in here and cut some more. Let's talk about removing these delicate parts again. And as I pointed out, when you have a part that is between two ends of the sprue, connected at two different ends, when you cut this, okay, remember the wedge side of the cutting tool, the V, pushes the part upward, especially here. Deeper the angle, the greater the pressure upward. When you start cutting in here, any pressure that the tool exerts is transferred to the part. Whether you've got the jaws pointed away and you got the flush end towards the part, or vice versa, it's pushing. It has to push. The laws of physics. Fragile parts like this will break if there's too much force pressed. Now there's different methods that you can use to go in here and start removing. Let's say I want to take this part off. Well, I could probably cut up here, But at the same time, even when I'm cutting here, and of course this is a bigger diameter, which means more force is required, it's going to possibly damage this. Now I've got this end free, it's not going to do it. But anytime you're cutting a part, especially delicate parts, you want to minimize the pressure, and that's one of the advantages of the 2175. Its jaw is very thin, low profile, sharp, and it reaches in, and it does cut flush. I can get in here and cut flush, okay? I can get in here and cut flush. I can get in here and cut flush. Cutting flush on a very small part serves two purposes. One, the part comes off cleanly and unbroken, but also it's kind of hard to hold on to a very tiny part to go back and clean the residue off. So if you have a tool that will cut clean, you avoid one of the processes, and that's trying to hold that itty bitty part and clean up the end so that you can use it.